And welcome once again. I am the database guy. I'm glad you've joined me. Please like and subscribe. As always, this is free to you, as it always is. I'm working hard to give you free stuff so you can help you with your database development. We are in, let's see, this is video 3. Let's fix that. Right. And we're in VBA. We did the if then before. So, we finished with the if then. We're in the big brother, the select statement, or select case statement is really what it should say up here, just for your work. Okay. And in select case, it's a lot different than if then. It's more specific. You have select case, and you can do, you're checking a condition, and you're doing the case of the first condition, and then you can also run a case for, with commas for a second, third, and fourth condition, or you can do a case sort of thing, 6th to 9th condition, inclusive all of those possibilities. You can go up to the nth condition, whatever you want, and then your case else, just like you had your else in your if then, it's all other conditions, and it's a trap for all other conditions, and then of course the end select. So we're going to go back to our database. Come on. There we go. And we're going to go into our functions here, and I have, there we go, saved a potential one here. Now, this function here, you notice we have always declared variables, either dimmed them in local areas or we have done public. This one here, we are basically declaring variables that are going to be passed into this function. So we use commas as we do with our dim, and we say integer x as integer, integer y as integer, and then we use them. All right. I'm going to take out the first debug statement. We don't need that. We start off with, as we said, select case, and that case is going to be the sum of integer x and y we're passing to our function. And then what we're going to do is if it's greater than 5, anything greater than 5 between x plus y, doesn't matter what combination it may be, we are going to then, hang on a minute, sorry for the interruption, we're going to add them. I'm sorry, we're going to show the sum of them, right? Plus we're going to show each individual variable. If they sum to 5, and you can have several conditions of summing to 5, 2, 3, 3, 2, 0, 5, 5, 0, 1, 4, 4, 1, and so on. We're going to multiply them. If the case is less than 5, we're going to subtract them. And if it's less than 0, we're going to divide them. Now, let us do an example. And what we've got to actually connect this function, by the way, to our test form. So here we're going to go EF3. And notice, immediately IntelliSense sees that we have variables that must be there. You do not have to place those variables in parentheses. You'll get an error for that. What it will do is it expects that data then to be passed to another variable. I'm going to show you what happens. And I'm going to show you, yep, expected equals, right? So we don't need that. What you do is you just have, in this case, x comma y. These are our global variables, x and y, okay? And what it's going to do here is x and y now become integer x and integer y. When you run the function, it declares those integers for the purpose of this function and this function only, and then it will use them. All right, so we're going to debug. So again, passing variables, It's just something new that you can see. You have the function name and the variables. No parentheses are needed. And that's how we do it. So it's going to find x from what we ever input into this text box and y from that text box, set them equal to these global variables, pass them to the function, which is here, and then begin to evaluate our cases. So without further ado, we're going to go yes on that because we're saving a change to it, and we're going to open it up. And if I were to press something now, I probably would get an error because there's no values there. There are no. So I'm going to go with 2 and let's say 1 and press it. And let's see how it evaluated it. Okay, so 2 and 1, in this case x is 1, y is 2, we're less than 5. So we're going to subtract, wait a minute, it's 3, I'm sorry, it's 3. 3 is less than 5, so we should have, let's see, we have a 1 for, oh, wait a minute, why am I not seeing, oh yes, so x plus y is 3, right, and is less than 5, so integer x minus y, let me just make sure if I've got the right ones. Oh yes, x is 1, okay. So I'm saying here, huh, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading it the wrong way, boy. So here is the x minus y, x is 2, y is 1. So it evaluated this case here, right here. And we printed out 2 minus 1. Let's reverse it and see what happens. All right, now we should, yeah, we do see a negative number. Now we're reversing it. It's also less than 5. So let's put something in that's greater than 5. Let's put in 5 and 9. Come on. So now we should hit our first condition. Right, 5 plus 9 is 14. It's greater than 5, and there we are. If we reverse it, it wouldn't matter. Actually, we'll do it for the sake of satisfying you. All right. Oh, and we didn't have a case else here. Let's do a case else. We didn't have that here. And times y times 2 times y, something like that. Okay. Case else would really be anything that doesn't apply to this, which I'm not sure it's even going to evaluate, but let's see what happens. Let us put in zeros. And we're getting all zeros. Well, that would make sense to us because our case else would be our 0. 0 times 2 is 0 times y is 0. And then, of course, we have 0 and 0. So our case else got evaluated. Now, we did a greater than 5, a less than 5. What about something less than 0? Minus 8. So something that's going to be minus 1. Huh. What happened? What happened? Well, 7 and minus 8 are here. So why did I get 15? Well, going back, we have x being 7, y being 8. So 7 minus a negative 8, which is actually what it did here. It's less than 5. What it actually did here is it added them. Let's reverse it to prove the point. So here it is now minus 7, minus 8, minus 15. So it's evaluating this one, not this one. Wow. So this is also doing the same thing that our if-then statement did. It's evaluating things in order. Since the first one meets, why go beyond that? So what we're going to do is we're going to comment this out. We're going to run it again and see what happens. So x plus y, in this case, will be a minus 1, right? So we should evaluate to r less than 0 condition. Wow, let's go and try that again. Maybe something where I have it sitting here. Wow, minus 112. Oh, yes. Okay, yes, it is doing it right. So we're taking then x times y, which is minus 56, minus 56 times 2 is minus 112. That's the case else. So it's saying that while x plus y is minus 1, it's evaluating this last one here. So let's uncomment this for a minute. Let's rerun it. And let's see what we get. We're getting nothing. We're getting nothing. Let's see. So let us say minus 5. Okay, there we go. So we're able to evaluate it here. Oh, I know why. Yeah, because in the first example we were actually less than 5. We had nothing to evaluate it. So what we really have to do is x plus y. Let's try it again. Right, x plus y would be positive 1. So here, right? So it's less than 5, but there's nothing to evaluate it. And that's interesting. Let's see what happens again. We're not going to evaluate anything there because we have no condition to meet that. But if we go and we reverse this to make sure we get a negative number, let's see. There we go. So now we are doing the division. So it's interesting here that when we run the less than 0, okay, we override. We only get a condition of less than 0. But if I put this one back in, let's comment it back in. There we go. Nope. Hang on. Oh, I'm not commenting here. Where is? Oh, here we are. There we go. And if I run this again, I'm going to get this condition overriding the negative condition. So you got to be very careful. There you have it. To what you use as your conditions. Now, can I have multiple conditions here? Well, let's try an if then. So integer x plus integer, let's try it here, I is greater than 0, then debug print otherwise and if. So in other words, here, okay, I'll only print if it's greater than 0. So let's see what happens here. I probably won't print anything. I probably won't see anything, and I don't. Which means the if-then has nothing to do with the case. All right, so what we can do here, as we stated earlier, let's go back to we can do this to condition. So case 0, 2, 5. Now I'm going to show debug compile, we're good. Now I'm going to be more specific, see between 0 and 5. Let's press our button and let's see what we get. Now we're getting this, okay? We're getting this, what we should get. We're in for a less than 0. Let's see if we get something between. So let's see if this is 8 and this is a -7. Now when we evaluate this, I should get, and I do, 8 minus a -7 is 15. So here, what I'm saying is, and you got to be careful, a less than 5 contains everything that's less than 0 plus anything from 0 to 5. And that's got to be critical on that one, right? Now, greater than 5 is everything greater than 5. Now, if I wanted from 5 to 25, let's try that. From 5 to 25, right? So I come in here and I have 10 and 11, and I run this. I'm going to get my 21, which meets my criteria, right? Oh, and let us bring this baby back in. We're going to need it for, all right, case else, because we're not going to meet anything else if we go above 25. Right, we go below 0, we're going to get that one. We go from 0 to 5, we're going to get that one. 5, we're going to get that one. And actually not 5 to 25, but 6. Because we're going to, if we hit 5, we're going to override the second case 5. So we want to make sure we structure that correctly. So now what happens here? Now I'm above 25. I should get something very weird. And I do. Right, I get what? 20 times 10 is 200, times 2 is 400. My case else kicked in. As you can see here with case, you have to be specific within the range, the scope, and how case select works. All right, you can have if-thens within there, and we saw that, but the if-then or any kind of statement within it will evaluate what happens to that case. It won't change the case. So in other words, in order for me to get a specific case, I have to change how I'm looking at the case, okay? So let's try one more. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. We'll talk about what that is at a later date. We're going to do in our example here, 26, 27, 28. We're going to look at that too. Remember I said you can put commas there. So now anything above 28 would kick into our case else, right? So let's make this one 22, and let's make this one 15. When we run this, we should now, whoops, sorry about that. We don't want that. We should now see, let's see, 1522 is, oh, that's 37. I'm sorry, we're in our case, yeah, we're way above. We're way higher than 26, 27, or 28, so let's go back. So let us make, I don't know, 16 and 12. That will give us 28. We'll pass that through, and we add them together as we did up here, right? So then we'll go, that's our last one. Then we will go to making this a 13, and now we should get our case else on the select statement going. And we actually do. So 13 times 16 times 2 is 416. So you can see there's various different ways of addressing cases. You can put commas there for different possibilities. You have more. You can run the two. You can run a simple one, a less than, a greater than. Now, to run both of them, I don't think you can run you're not allowed to run a greater than, less than kind of combination. It probably will err out. I think it would. So we can try it, but I don't think it will allow it. So if I said case here greater than 28 and less than 35, I don't think it's going to allow me to do that. It's going to err out. Yeah, it's going to expect an expression. It's going to err out. Let's try putting the word case next to that and see if we can do that. Yeah, it expects an expression, and you can't just do that twice. We might have the word between. 29 and 35. No. Let's try is between. I don't think there's an is between function, but nah, it doesn't want to work. So I don't know of an operator for that that's going to give us, and I can bring that back to you, where you can case typically, because it's so specific, doesn't allow multiple operators like your if then does. You can have a case does not equal, all right, does not equal 29, or it does not equal some value. But that again means it could be any other value except that. It's too broad. And really, in that case select type of statement, it's more of a specific address to a certain condition. As you saw here, less than 0, we don't have to say equal. We could put equal. Let's see if we put the equal in there, what happens. Yeah, less than equal will go in there, and that'll work too. And obviously that does not would be the two, like, whoops, sorry, like this. Let me go back. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So, but any event, this is the case select statement. It's a very useful one. It's a very powerful one. Now you can do not just numbers. You can do strings or characters. You wouldn't use it for a message box because it's too much code. If somebody presses yes, no, or well, that's the thing with the if then, you could do it. Yes, no, and cancel is a possibility. You can do that with the if then as well. You can nest if thens within the case under here because you're doing something here. And here we're only debug printing. We're not running any other kinds of functions. Now, you want to, as I said, and always when you write code, you want to be able to have these things such that you can read it very quickly. And so here would be something that would be good. So yeah, so I mean, here, if we look at this again and we evaluate it, right? Our first one is, our case is 26, 27, and 28. Those are the only three it'll find for that. Then anything 6 to 25 will go with our next one. Anything that's just 5 alone, and actually this one here, to be more correct, 0 to 4. because we're already capturing 5 here. And so let's give a quick example of that one. We can do it many ways, 4 and 1, right? And we can do 0 and 5, and we can do finally 2 and 3. We should only be able to capture the one condition, and we are. So on 5 here, we're multiplying, right? So 4 and 1 is 4, 0 and 5 is 0, 2 times 3 is 6. So we know we're capturing 5. If we capture 4, for example, 2 and 2, then we should be capturing the minus, right? Let's see. Yes, minus. We get 0. And anything less than 0, we capture here. And the else would be what? Looking at this logic, our else would be anything greater than 29. So let's get a little crazy. So we should capture this in our case else, and we do, right? So if we wanted to get, we could always put in other cases for different values. We can do as much as we please. We'll get crazy, all right? And by the way, if you don't like this, you could always put 26 to 28, right? To shorten that kind of code up, but I don't think you gained anything on that one. I really don't think that you would. So this is a case select statement. It's very powerful. It's very usable. And the differences between this one and this one is that here we're looking at a specific condition, a value, something, and we're determining, and I've used them for a global variable. Look at the global variable, determine what it is, and then do something based upon what that variable is, because that variable was set somewhere else. If then is usually more of an immediate, do it right now, get it done with. Okay. So that is our video 3. When we come back to video 4, we're going to look at some other potential statements. I'll see where it goes, and I will keep you advised. As always, like and subscribe. I'm here for you. I'm the database guy. This is our basic, Visual Basic for Applications course within a course of development. You're going to be using case select, not as much probably as if then, but you're going to be careful when you use it. And as I said, you can nest an if then in a select case. You can nest if thens and if thens. Now, could you nest a select case in an if then? The answer is yes. So if I meet a first condition, then look at that condition and determine something else about that. And there may be a way of doing that you may want to do that, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to show you any examples right now, but as I always say, like and subscribe. When we come back, it's going to be our 4th video in this journey on Visual Basic for Applications, the basic part of programming. And what I'm going to look at this, the basic is all of these different kinds of statements and things you use and how you use them and where you put them and connecting them. We have not, oh boy, we have not done anything. Let's just see here. All right, so we're going to get into things like message boxes and other things and coding that you can use. In this course, input boxes aren't needed because that's an old, antiquated Visual Basic coding type of thing because we're going to be entering data into the interface and we're going to get data from there. But anyway, as I always say, stick with me, like and subscribe wherever you are. Have a great evening, great day, great night, great afternoon, whatever it might be. As always, take care.